Hey, what's up, everybody? The V Club here, otherwise known as the Villain Club. Back to you with another video. This channel is about anything and everything from lifestyle, entertainment, politics, anything. It's about anything. Alright, if you want to ever ask me anything, I will answer anything that you want to know. Alright, so nothing's off the table. This is what it's all about, alright? So I guess without further ado, we're going to get straight to it. There's a lot to talk about these days, but I'm going to focus in on this particular topic because it's kind of a hot topic right now. And obviously it's the View, right? So I'm going to also do another video this week on the blueprint here of what they're trying to lay out to reform government between the Doge team there. But very interesting. But I wanted to talk about the View, right? Because they've been getting a lot of heat these last few days because they're still kind of continuing this sort of like rhetoric about Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, right? And it's getting kind of annoying, right? Because it's over, right? They've been fear mongering, they've been doing this and that for the longest time, and it's over. It's stupid. Networks are getting turned off by the sort of content and rhetoric that places like The View have been spewing out, and networks are starting to have enough of it to where CNN has cut staff, right? Laid off staff. MSNBC has laid off staff, and they also are trying to pull things back on the progressive liberalness of the news content because it was obviously their networks were very left leaning for a long time, and everything was left leaning, very progressive. It's about tranny this, and you can't say this because it's too mean, and all this other bullshit stuff, right? Open borders, supporting, if fear mongering, race mongering, all this crap. All right, and people have had enough. So, interesting enough, it's very interesting about what happened here. And these last couple of days, there's been some heated debate because Trump has won. All right, it's over. No matter what the View says, they really got no what do you call that? Like no play at all into what they have to say. All right, because all you know is that they're just full of shit and all into themselves that they are. You can just see it now that they're just full of shit. Like you look at Whoopi Goldberg, right? We talked about Whoopi the other day. And people like her. All right, they're trying to race bait all the time, just like Sonny Holston here. Race baiting all the time, fear mongering, all this bullshit. Trump's a dictator, Trump is Hitler. All that stuff needs to go because it's not 2020 anymore. It's not all this crap anymore. We're beyond that stuff now, right? And it took a few years, but we're beyond all that crap. So with her bullshitting, right? It says here, let's see, Whoopi Goldberg busted over woke lie, getting sued into oblivion. That's good. All right, she ought to be sued because the other day when I talked about how she lied about how they denied her service because of her political beliefs, right? I talked about that in my video. What she lied about. What was real when I talked about in my video was the FEMA supervisor directing her staff to skip houses in the North Carolina floods that had Trump signs on it or any sort of Trump support to skip those houses. That's lives right there. And she got fired for that, even though she said that it wasn't words from her, she's just following directives from up top. But she got the scapegoat because she was the scapegoat because she was the supervisor that directed that rather than go against that. And I get it, you know. I mean, if you are being told what to do and you're just only listening, following orders, you know, you're kind of in a catch-22. So she got, you know, fired for it because now the up top say, "Oh no, we didn't say that," you know. So they're going to scapegoat somebody because they don't want to take the blame for what was said there. That shit's real. Whoopi lied. All right, she's full of shit. All right, and so I hope she does get sued to oblivion because what she did to that business is, you know, it can destroy businesses, right? And if Democrats, right, and liberals are all about supporting small businesses and all that, businesses, family-owned business and things like that, right? Entrepreneur business, right? Not corporations. Then why would she do that to a small business, right? And so to me, Democrats are all into themselves, right? They're all about the elites. They don't give a shit about nobody. That's why the unions push themselves away. That's why all the shit that's been happening, they don't give a shit, right? All they care about is the elites, right? Themselves, essentially, and the illegals. Because they're trying to use the illegals to replace the working class, us. And if you want that to happen, then hey, it was going to happen if you voted Kamala, but luckily it didn't happen. All right, and then Trump's going to clean up this mess. So, what's going on with the View? All right, more heated debates because it started out with a heated debate of Sonny arguing with Alyssa Farah Griffin, who's supposed to be a conservative representation on the show, even though she's been stepped on and kind of goes along with whatever the View does. Just like Anna Navarro, she's full of shit too, even though she's supposedly a conservative, but she's completely liberal on the show. So Alyssa Farah Griffin, though, ever since the Trump election win, she's been holding her ground, standing her ground, you know. So let me see here. Let's see here. The View co-hosts clashed over school choice. She's been talking for whatever. Whoopi breaks up on-air fight between co-host Sonny Hostin. Let's take a look at this one. All right. There were some heated debates lately where Alyssa Farah Griffin is finally kind of just, finally stepping up and being what she represents herself to be. All right, so let's see. The cast of the ABC talk show got into a tense exchange while discussing the president-elect's Secretary of Education pick. They got into a fight, on-air clash, where Whoopi breaks the on-air fight between them. What was it they were talking about? Oh, they're talking about the Department of Education. All right. I wonder if there's like any video clips of that. I want to see if there's any sort of video clip of that. So let's see if I can try to find that. Let's see here about this one. Maybe it's this video here, courtesy of Davari Darkins. All right. Fair use. I'm just using fair use. All right.
Research has shown that students who use voucher programs to leave a public school and then attend a private school do worse academically.
Inequities. But where did you go to school?
But
then didn't you get to go to a private school?
Here's what's interesting. And they need to be able to pay the balance.
No, it's the taxpayer dollar flowing, and that's what a voucher is. It's not paying it.
No, there is no last thing right now. We're going to go to break, and then we're going to come back.
Yes.
She had to step in when
President-elect Trump has.
She had to step in when Alyssa was actually finally standing up for Trump, and she had to step in to stop that exchange from continuing because they got into it again during that time. This was a couple days ago. So let's see here.
Happens with vouchers. The studies show very clearly that they fund students who are already attending private schools. So people with money get those vouchers, use the vouchers to pay less for their private schools, and their kids go on to do well. Where do you get the money from vouchers? You pull those money from those poor schools, poor schools. Let me just finish this. So wealthy families are overwhelmingly the recipients of school voucher tax credits. I'm not making this up. This has been studied. In 2020, a 2020 study found that only about half of states with voucher programs require teachers to have a bachelor's degree, require teachers to have training, require teachers to have licensing, require participating private schools.
If I may get in, just to make it a conversation.
But because I have children and because I looked at
I went to public school. I believe you got to go to private school.
There is zero statistical significance.
You got to go to private school.
Because nobody can figure out what's being said here right now. No, there is no last thing right now. We're going to go to break, and then we're going to come back.
Yes.
All right, so if you're following along, then you know by now where Sunny Hostin is about to go with this, right? Which is that she believes that people who are using school vouchers that get to go to these private schools, that there is no net benefit. There's no net positive. In fact, it's the polar opposite. It doesn't work. Now, she doesn't have any sources, data, surveys, polls. She only has her lived experience to draw from, which is actually a big contradiction because herself went to private school. And when Alyssa brings that up, watch her reaction.
Yeah, the View is full of shit. You know, that's the thing about it. Like, people are...
I personally worked on the DC Opportunity Scholarship Program when I was working in Congress. And that program alone, which is a charter school system, it experienced a 21% increase in graduation rates. There are conflicting statistics, but according to Morning Consult, the majority of Americans support health savings account, vouchers, and the taxpayer money following the students. It is my belief, as somebody who grew up in the public school system, believes in it, and was grateful to be in a really good school district. If you're in a school that's falling behind and your parent wants to give you the opportunity to get a leg up, your tax dollars should follow you.
But you're a school charter person, and this is part I don't understand. Doesn't it come down to less the result and more the choice of isn't the fight for the parents to say they choose it? Is that what most people are supporting?
It's simply that a parent should be able to make the best choice for their student. But I also think that there are schools that are falling behind. It doesn't mean they don't deserve education, but I don't think students should be victims of a falling behind school. Their life is at stake in it, their future, their earning potential.
But see, you went to a good school. I wasn't in a good school district. That's the inequity.
But where did you go to school?
In the South. I had to start school in the South Bronx projects. But
then didn't you get to go to a private school?
Here's what's interesting.
Okay, so you could see that at this point. I mean, I feel like I do this every day, right? Where I get to see Alyssa and Sunny Hostin at each other's throats because Alyssa's just fed up, okay? I get that the one thing that brings all of these ladies together is they all hate Trump. There's no question about that. But clearly there are some differences. And so you're looking at a never Trumper versus a hardcore race hustling progressive. And I would also add in racist Sunny Hostin. And sooner or later, they're not going to see eye to eye. And we're witnessing this every step of the way. Now, what Alyssa is actually alluding to, which is really funny, Sunny, you are claiming that vouchers don't have any benefit, but you are a beneficiary of school voucher because you went to a private school. So make it make sense.
I do want to be very clear-eyed about the policies. And so the last point that I was going to make is there is zero statistical significance that voucher programs improve overall student success. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Research has shown that students who use voucher programs to leave a public school and then attend a private school do worse academically.
So Sunny Hostin is trying to use her lived experience to say that when someone uses a school voucher, which is a government-funded scholarship, that money is being taken away from public school. Now, let's say we run with that logic, that is actually happening. What's more important, putting the responsibility and the onus on the parent, who clearly is responsible for the child, or putting it on the government? I'm sure any parent out there does not want the government solely responsible for the educational needs for their child. I think they would want to step up, right? Which is why school choice inherently is a common sense approach.
Your education should not be tied to where you live. Should not be tied to your. No, it's actually not, because what happens with school,
the argument for busing.
but what happens with it's an argument for busing, not school choice, because what happens is when you live in an impoverished neighborhood like I lived in, you do not get the funding. The funding under a voucher program is taken away from your school and given to another school.
But on the flip side of that very same argument is why school choice advocates say your zip code should not determine your outcome. You should, there's this great school, Duke Ellington in D.C. It's a performing arts school. It brings kids from parts of D.C. that are falling behind, but if they can get in, their life can be completely wonderful.
But you just said the magic word.
Well, they need to have parents who are involved. They need
to be able to pay the balance. And they can't.
No, it's the taxpayer dollar falling, and that's what a voucher is. It's not paying it.
Schools, people have to pay attention to our kids, and they don't.
All right, so guys, we have a failure to comprehend. We have a clear malfunction on this show, and it's quite sad that these are women. These are mothers, and they literally have no idea what they're talking about. This is not rocket science, people. This is 1 + 1 = 2. It is very simple. School voucher is exactly what it sounds like, okay? A government-funded scholarship that helps the parent send the kid to their ideal school. It does not matter the zip code. But for some reason, in Sunny's head, that's not the way that she sees it. And by default, if you are for school choice, you would not support being limited by your zip code. I mean, everybody inherently hates that idea. And of course, who's truly paying these school vouchers? It's me, it's you, it's people who pay their taxes. But in the eyes of Sunny Hostin, no, that's not what's happening. We are taking money away from these public schools. Okay, can we just be honest really quick for a second? Why is the government in charge of public education to begin with?
Well, that's why Trump wants to get rid of the Department of Education. So the whole thing is that it doesn't take away money from the schools, because the money are going to go to the schools depending on student enrollment anyways. That's how they usually fund it, is how many students are enrolled. But if it's in the same, it doesn't matter what school, however many students shows up is however many students show up and registered, right? But there is school choice, right? You can always do, inter-district transfers and things like that. But again, it's what they were debating on, is that parents can actually step up and step in and make those moves happen. But it's also part of their responsibility to see it through and maintain that effort in bringing their kids to the different school, in a different district and all that stuff. I mean, it is a lot of paperwork, but it's not that hard at the same time. And, and you should have the school choice of where you want to go. It doesn't matter the zip code. And we actually do.
Right? Don't you think that is actually the root cause of the problem? Not necessarily the school itself. It's the fact that everything that is happening in a public school system originates from the Department of Education. Maybe it's not a bad idea to shut it down. So Sunny is trying to save something that is unsavable, okay? It needs to be blown up. It needs to start from scratch.
And that's the thing, too, is like public schools is terrible at the same time. That's why if parents are able to afford it, they go to private schools. That's why they go for, they try to get the vouchers and things like that for private schools, because private schools typically have better education, better outcome. I don't know where Sunny got that idea from, that it's not fundamentally different or whatever she said. She's full of shit.
We need to put the responsibility on parents and on our communities and invest more into private, charter, homeschooling. There are so many alternative options here that could.
All right, so we have enough of that. All right, so that's happened there. All right, so let's see here. Sunny gets humbled. All right, let's see why. Because, the View's full of shit. I don't see how anybody, I hope,
The View has been embroiled in another.
I hope they don't take The View as fact, because they are all so full of shit, and it shows, all right? It really shows, especially this anti-Trump thing that they've been doing on, it's old, it's stupid, it just needs to go. They need to go.
The humiliating scandal after host Sunny Hostin was forced to read a legal notice concerning incoming Attorney General Matt Gaetz after comments she made on the show.
On screen. Sunny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
The statement came after Sunny Hostin blasted Matt Gaetz for serious allegations against him that he has always denied.
How could you nominate someone with allegations of child trafficking trafficking across state lines and having sex with a 17-year-old? My understanding further on in the interview, they discussed the fact that once he finds out that she's 17, he stops having sex with her.
Hostin appeared reluctant to read the note and spoke through gritted teeth, which the internet has had a field day with. This commentator said, "The best thing you'll see all week is Sunny Hostin of The View being forced to read a legal note correcting her previous statement about the bogus allegations against incoming AG Matt Gaetz." That face. Russell Brand agreed, saying, "Wait, The View is correcting itself? The world is healing." Matt Gaetz replied to Hostin's statement, simply tweeting eye emojis. But this isn't the first instance of fake news on The View. Just last week, Whoopi Goldberg blasted a bakery for supposedly discriminating against her by refusing to serve her because of her political views.
The place that made these refused to make them for me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What? Oh,
no. Let me explain. They said that their ovens had gone down, all kinds of stuff, but folks went and got them anyway, which is why I'm not telling you who made them. But can't be because I'm a woman, but perhaps they did not like my politics. Yeah.
This turned out to also be false. And the much simpler explanation was that the bakery's boiler was just not working.
And just a little background for those who know, they had a boiler here. Again, it's been here 145 years.
The thing is, though, that she got heat from ABC, all right, and if you want to continue to play ball, you better read the statement, or else we're going to, axe you out, right? So that's why she had to read that statement, because there's some serious allegations, and if you don't have any facts, because they just go off of bullshit all the time anyways, then that's what happens. You get forced to read what you don't want to read, and that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? So don't be saying bullshit, all right, if it's just shit without the facts.
They had a boiler that was 60 or 70 years old, and the first week in November, guess what? It went on the fritz. They had to be replaced, and the reputation of Holterman's is impeccable, so rather than commit to something they couldn't guarantee, they said we can't do it. And the person who besmirched and defamed them took that as an insult to her. Well, get over it. This family will be here for, God willing, another 145 years.
But Whoopi Goldberg was not backing down.
There seems to be a lot of talk about the dessert I requested for my birthday show. I never mentioned the name of the bakery or the location. It does seem a little odd that when we called a few weeks before my birthday and we were told they couldn't process the order for my birthday because of an equipment failure. But somehow they were able to accept an order of a different 48 of the same dessert when somebody else called without using my name.
Sky News contributor Brad Palumbo slammed Whoopi's reaction to the saga.
Well, I only watch it because fans of my podcast, Brad versus Everyone, love to hate watch it with me and see what woke victim nonsense they're up to. Like this time, Whoopi Goldberg basically made up a victim script for herself. Imagine some
whispers of Justin Trudeau. If you guys recall Justin Trudeau, the actor, he's like gay, black, lied about being robbed and all that stuff by white people, try to make it a race thing, and come to find out he lied about everything, right? Testimony wise, come to find out he lied about everything, right? And what does he get? What, slap on the wrist? I mean, come on. So yeah, this race baiting, fear mongering type shit all the time that people do. It's old, it's stupid, it's so 2019, 2020, all this crap, and yet you guys want to say that you want to unite America and all that stuff, but yet you're still trying to race bait all the time, and it's stupid.
Oppression, but I'm sorry, Whoopi, your victim card is being declined. It's like she thinks that, oh, well, I'm a celebrity and I'm really important, so they can't possibly have issues with their boiler at a dessert place. They must be discriminating against me. You're not actually that important
you're not
outside of a very narrow slice of liberal elite society, but they've made victimhood a form of social currency in woke circles and in progressive media, so they're always falling all over each other to see how oppressed they can be and how, oh, woe is me. And if there's just that pesky little problem that it's not actually true, that doesn't really matter much. I mean, we've seen that over the years with mainstream media.
No, you're absolutely right. But God, they're just so bitter.
Yeah, I got zero sympathy, don't care about them. And they get what they get coming to them, right? So yeah, keep doing what they're doing, because people see through that bullshit. That all they're doing is just pulling up shit all the time. And yeah, so that's what's happening here. I just wanted to bring that up because it's just funny how, they're being exposed for the bullshit that they are, right? And especially after the Trump election, because again, people have stepped out and made their choice. And we were tired of the woke, DEI, fear, and race baiting and all this crap that just continues to come out of the liberal, progressive left. And so we're done with it. And so hopefully The View gets a takedown of everything. How about that? Or maybe acts. Well, they were talking about actually maybe doing something with the cast in terms of being able to bring more conservative points of view on, because they feel like Anna Navarro brings nothing to the table and Alyssa Fairgriffins bring nothing to the table. But I think Alyssa stepped it up recently because she's trying to save her job, So hopefully she just kind of maintains that and doesn't let it slip, because they should be replaceable and they got to tone it down, the rest of the cast, if they want to hold on to their jobs, because I think the networks are starting to see, with loss of viewers, loss of advertisers, and they're looking for a change in direction, because this whole woke DEI going to the left has ran its course, and it is a new forward path, all right, come 2025, and we're hoping for the better. And I think the best way to do it is for networks to kind of, charter the course in a better direction and stop being so leaning to one side. And it should be more open to both sides. If anything, I'm not trying to say go far right or nothing like that, but hey, how about just being fair for a change? Because we've seen it for the last few years, with how these networks are so left-leaning. And maybe it's just better to be fair for a chance, for a change. So anyhow, that's my latest here. See, look at this. This got ugly. They've been going at it lately, so it's just fun to see. And like I said, I never really talked about The View until recently, because this has started to get my attention about how they're kind of really starting to have some more heated debates, even though, they don't like Trump, even though they once had Trump on the show and embraced him, which is pretty funny. They're starting to become more at each other's throats, which I find fascinating. So anyhow, that's the latest on everything. I just want to share that with you guys today. Tune in next time as I do one on the daily. Subscribe to the bell icon, And I will, oh yeah, comment down below, and I'll see you next one.